welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be part 2 of my Q&A. I put out a message on Instagram and there were so many questions that I've split it into 2. So I will link the first video down below and I will also link my Instagram down below as well. I post almost every day, so I would love for you to come and follow me on Instagram if you want to see more cute pictures of the kids and stuff. I also just wanted to apologize that there was no video on Friday. We have just got over the worst sickness bug ever. Today is the first time I've put on makeup or even tried to like curl my hair or anything in a few days because we all had it at once and it was just awful. Anyway, let's get into the questions. Also, you may notice this little guy. There's like a lump behind me in an unmade bed because he wanted to be near me while I was filming this. You know, when you're not well, you want to be near your mummy, don't you? So you may notice him.
Bye-bye. I'll go under the cover now.
Okay. Right, so first question, Eloise D asks, did your 2 older boys get jealous and how did you share your time out with the boys? Yeah, so when we first had Jackson, we really didn't know how they were going to react. We thought Fraser would be good because he's always been really good with his younger brother Caleb, but we really didn't know how Caleb would react to the new baby. He's listening. But we were so pleasantly surprised. Caleb was so over the top loving towards the baby. Also, one really good tip that we did do was when the new baby came, he brought presents for each of the boys. So he brought a present that he knew they were going to love and really like. So instantly they like warmed to him, and I'm not even kidding, for a few weeks they were like, oh, the baby brought me these lightsabers, the baby brought me this, he's so nice. So I feel like that really helped them warm to it.
He got Caleb whole time and he got me a big lightsaber set.
That's right. Right, next question is from Shiv's diary and she asks, how have you been able to build a channel and how do you find time with young children? So it is definitely a challenge. I started this channel 3 years ago and at the time I had a young baby, a 3-year-old, and I was at work. So it was really hard. So I just literally fitted it in like my spare time, which was in the evenings. And I tend to do most of the stuff for this channel from 7 to 10 p.m. at night. I always film during nap time. So right now when I'm filming this, the 2 younger ones are both having a nap because they've been unwell. And Fraser's obviously here with me. So I film during nap times and I edit at night. But it's tricky, it's really hard, but I think what helps is that I really love it, so I find the time. The next question is from Belle Zelensky and she asks, have you got any tips on brushing your toddler's teeth? And I actually got a few questions about teeth on the questions, so I've got the best tip for you. If you go to YouTube and you type in Elmo brushing teeth song, you will see there is one at the top that has about 200 million views. Loads of those are from me. And if you put it on in the bathroom when it's time to brush their teeth, my kids brush along and they love it.
Go get your toothbrush.
Brush, brushy, brush, brushy, brush, brush. Brush, brushy, brush, brushy, brush.
Honestly, that is such, you love it. Yeah, brush, brush, brush. Yeah, so my boys love that song. It really helps. They brush along with Elmo and they really enjoy it. Another thing I do is you can use a mirror. So you can give them a mirror to watch themselves brush and get the backs and really brush with the mirror. Yeah, they are quite good at brushing their teeth, but I have also been very persistent because you have to brush your teeth. You're gonna have to brush your teeth every single day for the rest of your life, twice a day. So there's no getting out of it, so we just have to make them. But yeah, that song is amazing. The next question is from Allison, 2005, and she asks, what is your favorite part about being a mum? So this is tricky. I don't think there's like one thing that they do. For me, it is like the little moments that we have and the funny things that they say. I love just having lazy Sundays with them, making some food, staying in and just enjoying each other's company. I also find it so rewarding as a mum when you actually teach your child something, and it can be something as simple as how to use a spoon or like some maths. I would say the worst thing about being a mum is having to look after everyone who has a sickness bug when you also have a sickness bug. The next question is from Janet and she says, how do you bond with your newborns? I'm expecting and I don't seem to have the normal feelings that people have. This is tricky because you're obviously pregnant right now, so your hormones are going crazy. So you have no idea how you're going to feel when that baby is actually here. For me, as soon as I had that baby, everything changed. When I was pregnant, I was like quite a career-minded person with my first son, and I was like, I had the nursery booked for 6 months after he'd been born, and I was gonna go back full-time to my job. I was a director of marketing at the time, and I was like, yeah, going back, definitely fine. As soon as I held him in my arms, this one, I was like, I'm not going back. I was like, I can't do it. I'm so in love. Like the feeling of love is overwhelming for most people. But I would also say, right, look who wanted to wake up and say hi. That wasn't a very long nap. Anyway, as I was saying, just see how you feel when that baby is actually here, and what you're saying is completely normal. And there is also loads of help out there. So if you're having problems when the baby is born, know that it's actually quite a normal feeling. Yeah, I think looking back with my first son, I actually was not 100% myself when that baby was born. There were so many emotions and hormones. I think I went a little bit like funny. The next question is from Anna Kazina, and she said, at what age did yours stop using a buggy? Or did you need a double buggy? Yeah, whenever one of my children hit the age of 3, they seem to just want to walk and not get in the buggy. So I don't know if that's like a boy thing or not, but I have never had a double buggy because they're all 3 years apart. So I'll always just have a buggy board and then the new baby in the buggy. The next question is, what is your favorite thing about raising boys? So I am a very girly girl, so I think everyone was shocked when I had all these boys to look after, but it really has changed me as a person, and I think for the better. I am definitely a lot more laid back, chilled out, just a bit crazy. And I think actually, because I'm quite a highly strung person, I think the energy levels and all of that actually works quite well between all of us. Right, Natalie Eagle asks, do you ever get homesick for Canada? I'm about to move from Liverpool to Kent and I am worried. I do really miss home a lot of the time, but Skype is amazing. Like my mum can read the boys a storybook over Skype sometimes. I do miss little things like popping in for like a cup of tea or something. Sometimes I think, oh, I want to tell my mum that, and then I'm like, oh no, it's 6 a.m. in the morning there, like I can't call. It is really hard. I think if you can surround yourself with like a good friend network, and you know, YouTube actually really helps me because I feel like I've made loads of friends this way as well. But it is tough, but the world is actually so small now. There are so many ways that you can keep in contact. Next question is from Amy Reynolds, and she asks, what was it like going from 1 to 2 children, and have I got any tips on the transition? So I did a video about how I'm coping with 3 and the transition, so I will link that video down below. For me, honestly, I think that the hardest transition was going from having no babies to just 1 baby. All the others kind of just fit into your routine. So if you're already in the routine with your first child, the second one will hopefully just slip in. But I do have a 3-year age gap between all of my children, which I think has made it a lot easier as well. I would say try and stick to your routine as much as you can when that baby comes, and hopefully you'll be fine. Hannah Lottie asks, what is our favorite thing to do as a whole family together? So every year we hire a beach hut on Mersey Island. So we'll just go down for the day as a family and literally just play on the beach all day. They do the cutest little beach huts, and you can just like have an ice cream. The boys spend hours just throwing rocks into the sea, and they love it. It's just so simple, and I love that there is no iPads or TVs or anything for the whole day. We're just on the beach as a family, and it's always really, really special. The next question is from Fifi Blue, and she asks, have you got any tips on how to keep your relationship strong? This could be your husband or non-mammy friends, she said. Sorry, he wanted a cuddle. So I've done a video on how to keep the love alive after you have children, so I will link that video down below. Definitely go and check it out because I had like some tips in that. It's definitely tricky, but if you can try and have some time together, like on date nights, if you can try to keep a sense of humor, and if you can try and remember that this is just a phase, like soon you won't have very young children and you'll be able to like be a couple again one day, then that will also help. It's difficult with non-mummy friends as well because they're not in the same place as you. I actually had my first son 4 years before my best friend had her son, and when she was pregnant she said, oh, you know when you were pregnant and you were telling me about like week by week and all of this stuff that was going on, she was like, I actually couldn't have cared less. But she said now that she was going through it that it was amazing. So it's hard because they don't really understand until they've been through it. The next question is from S.E. Lee, and she asks, if I've got any tips on dealing with tantrums. So I will also link a tantrum video down below that I did. It's like my top 5 tips on how to deal with them. But I think if you can just avoid them as much as possible by making sure most of your child's needs are met, that's one of the best ways. I also find that giving my son choice is a great way to avoid tantrums. So because he hates getting dressed in the morning, I let him choose between 2 outfits, which I choose. Him like the red top or the blue top, and he still feels like he's had a choice even though I've ultimately chosen it. I also take a lot of comfort in just knowing that all children have tantrums and they all go through it, some worse than others, but it's not you. Lena asks, what milk will I give Jackson when I stop breastfeeding him? So with my 2 older boys, as soon as I've stopped breastfeeding at about around a year, I have just put them straight onto cow's milk because they're already old enough. Both of my older boys as well wouldn't take the bottle, so they went straight from the breast to the beaker, which wasn't the easiest thing in the world, but they just wouldn't take a bottle. So I found it easier to just offer them milk in a beaker when I wanted to stop breastfeeding. So I'm guessing that will probably happen again this time, just because he's a boob man as well. Mrs. L. Can asks, have you ever been to the States? And if so, where have you been? So I've been to LA twice, once when I was traveling and once when I was younger as well. I've been to North Carolina, because when I was little, we used to go there on holiday. When I was young in Canada as well, you couldn't get Abercrombie and Fitch in Toronto where I lived. So we would like cross the border to Buffalo to buy Abercrombie and Fitch. So I've been to Buffalo a few times as well. Oh, I've also been to New York because I went on a little like trip there when I was about 21. I think that's everywhere that I've been, but I'd love to go to the States more. I would love to do a road trip one day, and we're definitely gonna do like Disney properly when all of our boys are a good age. That is it for this video. I really hope you liked it. Please give it a big thumbs up if you did, and I'm sorry about the not usual setting. It's all happening here, and I am just so glad that we are feeling healthy again. But anyway, ask me any more questions in the comments below. I always reply to my comments, so definitely leave me a comment, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!